Meet Usana, the cheetah cub. For this youngster, growing up wild is one giant adventure. To survive on these vast plains, she must learn the laws of the land, like who to trust and who to avoid. She'll have her fearless mother by her side, but her greatest test will be to fend for herself. Across the world, baby animals are taking their first steps and tackling their first challenges. They are the next hope for their kind. They are the new kids in the wild. This is Zali, a female cheetah. One of Africa's rarest predators. She's on the hunt. But not for prey. Today, her target is something more personal, a safe denning site. She's carrying precious cargo. Zali is 3 months pregnant and on the verge of giving birth. She's searching for a location with enough prey to sustain her, but also safe from lions and hyenas. It won't take her long to find the right spot, as Zali lives in a very special place. This is the Waterberg Biosphere Reserve, South Africa. A mixture of dry deciduous forest and grassy plains. Located in South Africa's Limpopo province, this vast landscape stretches over 6,500 square kilometers. It's a protected wilderness and home to a huge array of wildlife. The great iconic animals of Africa roam free here, day and night. As morning breaks, this wild land is welcoming some new additions. Zali's given birth to a litter of cubs. Three boys and one little girl. Zali is one of the rare females to successfully raise multiple offspring to adulthood. She's known as a supermum. With fewer than 5,000 individuals left in the wild, the fate of the species relies on a small group of experienced mothers. To help conservation, she has a GPS collar to monitor her movements. Her only daughter in this litter could be extra special. Every female born is another potential supermum. Her name is Usana. As newborns, Usana and her siblings are blind and can barely move. The odds are stacked against them. Less than a third of cheetah cubs make it to adulthood. Usana has a long journey ahead. Luckily, she has a great teacher. Usana and her brothers rely on Umzali for everything. Not just her milk, but her protection and guidance. This supermum will be their guide for the next 16 months. Just 3 days after giving birth, Umzali has work to do. The smell of 4 young cubs intensifies over time. The scent is an alluring aroma to predators. So Umzali needs to move them to a new den site. In just a few minutes, she's found a suitable location. A thick bush provides perfect cover for the cubs. It's just 15 meters away from the old den, but that will be enough to diffuse the cubs' scent. Usana is the first to get a ride to her new home. One by one, Umzali relocates her cubs. She's still weak after giving birth. But it's this strength and focus that single her out as a supermum. For now, the cubs are secure. But her day is far from done. Umzali's newborns feed solely on her protein-rich milk. And to produce enough for Usana and her 3 brothers, she has to double her food intake. She needs to hunt. With the cubs safely tucked away, she strides out onto the savannah. Her home range stretches nearly 150 square kilometers. It could be 2 days before she returns. And even if she finds a suitable target, the best cheetah will only succeed in 4 out of 10 hunts. Today, she's lucky. Super Mum Umzali finds what she's looking for. A herd of wildebeest. Broad-shouldered with sharp horns, an adult is a risky target for a lone huntress. But within the herd, there are calves. Her prey has excellent hearing and a superb sense of smell. So Umzali cautiously positions herself downwind. Within seconds, she's hit 95 kilometers per hour. The herd panic. And amongst the mayhem comes success. Back at the den, Usana and her siblings instinctively stay put in their carefully selected home. At this young age, they're defenseless and don't budge from where their mother left them. And for good reason. Limpopo harbours many threats, from lumbering giants to silent hunters. The venomous puff adder is an ambush predator. And is searching for a spot to lay in wait. So long as they keep still, the cubs have nothing to fear from their reptilian neighbor. Little Usana is growing hungry. She calls out for her mother. Fortunately, her wait is nearly over. With a full belly, Umzali returns to the den. After the rush of the hunt, all she wants to do is relax. Usana, on the other hand, jostles with her brothers for her share of milk. It's all they'll consume for a month. Little Usana finishes first and starts to do a little exploring. It's the very first sign of an independent streak, along with impressive climbing skills. Her eyes are also widening with every passing day, but they won't be fully open until she's 10 days old. For now, she must feel her way. Just meters away from the den, another family is passing by. Elephants. Just like Umzali, this mother is raising her daughter without any help from the father. But unlike the cheetah family, the elephant and calf will stick together for a lifetime. In comparison, Usana and Umzali's time together will be over in the blink of an eye. Six weeks pass, and Usana and her brothers have almost doubled in size. Their mother Umzali is hunting again. But this time, little Usana is having trouble staying put. Her brothers stick together. They're more timid than she. When they grow up, these boys will live together in a tight-knit bachelor group. Little Usana, like her mother, will be alone. Her independent streak comes from being female. She takes every opportunity to explore. Whilst her brothers are busy play fighting, brave little Usana looks for new challenges. A dead sapling provides a chance to improve her climbing skills. But her fun is cut short when she hears Mum calling her back. She's late for a very important meal. Her three brothers are tucking in to their very first taste of meat. Usana wastes no time joining in. They must all learn to eat fast. Cheetah are the smallest of the big cats, which means their kills are often stolen by bigger competition. This lion has smelt Umzali's catch. And he's not alone. These two brothers are closing in. Lions are one of the biggest killers of cheetah cubs. Umzali is no match for this pair. She needs to escape to save herself and her infants. As soon as she sees her chance, she flees with the cubs. Usana and her brothers are safe. Supermom Umzali has timed it just right. The brothers were attracted to the kill, but they have other interests in this area. They're looking to establish a family of their own. Not far away is a small pride. Unlike Umzali, who is alone for her whole adult life, female lions live together with a male. This battle-hardened chief protects his females and offspring from usurpers. He's had to fight off the two brothers before. In return, his females raise and feed the cubs together. This cooperative approach is in stark contrast to Umzali's lonesome path. But like the cheetah mum, this lioness is also a veteran hunter. She'll go after prey too big for a lone cheetah to handle. She isn't as fast as Umzali, but she's a lot stronger. Normally, lionesses hunt together. But today, she alone provides for the family, while the other females babysit her cubs. Infant lions have it easier than baby cheetahs. They grow up with aunts and a father to keep them fed and safe. Half of all lion cubs survive their first year. But with such a big family to feed, they need a lot of space. Their territory can stretch up to 200 square kilometers. The bigger cats are a constant threat to Usana and her family. And they've gotten too close. Umzali needs to move her cubs again. At 6 weeks old, Usana and her brothers are ready for their semi-nomadic lives. Usana is on her first big adventure. Umzali leads the way, traveling into the night. 1 month later, the family are now settled a few kilometers north of the old den site. And for now, they're safe from the lions. Thanks to Supermum Umzali, Usana and her 3 brothers are now 10 weeks old. They're bigger, stronger, and faster. And little Usana is more curious than ever. Today, she's following her nose. Cheetah have an amazing sense of smell. Fully grown, she can sniff out prey up to 7 kilometers away. Usana is months away from hunting, but she smelt something interesting. A scrub hare. Careful now. The hare might be a little too quick for her. Undeterred, Usana finds another target. This hornbill hasn't noticed her. But just as she closes in, a sudden noise spooks this eccentric bird. It's Umzali calling little Usana back from her adventure. At nearly 3 months old, Usana's bond with her mother is still strong. Grooming reinforces this deep connection. The whole family kick back and relax. As the sun sets, Usana, her mother and brothers settle down for the night. In the morning, the grasslands have transformed. A dense fog has rolled in. Umzali leads the cubs through this veil of mist. But she's missing someone. Usana has become separated from the others. She calls out for her mum, but they're too far away to hear her. She needs to be careful making so much noise. She could wake up a sleeping monster. The bachelor lions are resting nearby. The big cats typically roam around 10 kilometers a day. Avoiding them is a constant game of cat and mouse for Umzali and her cubs. Usana's distress calls have awoken them from their slumber. Fortunately, the bachelor males are still more focused on tailing the rival pride than they are on hunting cheetah cubs. But they could change their minds. And Usana is still lost and alone. She needs to find her mum. Umzali keeps searching. But with 3 other cubs to care for, she can't wait here forever. She calls out for Usana. It's a risk with the lions in the area. Usana keeps calling. And Mum finally hears and tracks her down. But there's no time to celebrate. With the lions closing in again, Umzali needs to move the family on once more. Three days pass, and the cheetah family have put 10 kilometers between themselves and the lions. But this new neighborhood comes with its own risks. Umzali's picked up a scent. Their new home borders the hunting grounds of another cheetah. This is Umzali's grown-up daughter. But that doesn't mean they're on good terms. As far as they're concerned, they're competitors now. Fortunately, the estranged daughter has no cubs of her own, so she's more tolerant. She's wandering these wilds alone, in search of a mate. If Usana makes it to adulthood, she will follow the same path. Under Umzali's tutelage, Usana's half-sister has thrived and grown into a successful predator. Just like her mother. She has mastered stealth, patience, and speed. She's clearly inherited strong hunting skills, an essential trait if she's to follow her mother as a super mum. And with a little help, Usana will be right behind her. Umzali is watching over her new cub's training. As usual, Usana strides out on her own. She doesn't join in with her siblings' rough and tumble. Her brothers are having a great time play fighting. But it isn't just for fun. The boys are building up strength and agility through this boisterous game. But today, she wants to climb. And play with Mum. Usana is almost 3 months old. Her mum has guided her through the most vulnerable period of her life. Her journey is far from over. But the clock is ticking. Usana has just over a year remaining by her mother's side. She's learnt who to avoid and when to flee. But in the coming months, she'll need to learn to stand up for herself. Three months pass by. Life here in Waterberg is much the same. Great herds of herbivores scatter the plains. And scavengers circle the skies. On the lookout for any leftovers. In the tall grass, an unlucky antelope has wound up on someone's menu. A cheetah has made a kill. It's Umzali. Her GPS collar has broken off. But incredibly, this supermum, Usana, and all 3 of her brothers are still healthy. They're beating the odds. 50% of cubs don't make it to 6 months old. Usana and her brothers are feasting on today's kill. It's a healthy diet like this that helped them grow big and strong. The cubs are now sharing lookout duties with Mum, guarding the kill as they take turns to feast. It's not just lions who compete with the cheetah family. Trouble comes in many different shapes and sizes. A pair of black-backed jackals are on their tail. This male and female are partners in crime. Unlike Umzali, they mate for life and stay on the move in search of their next meal. These opportunistic scavengers will steal nearly a third of their meals. But they are also predators. A single jackal can take down an antelope. If they find the cubs alone, Usana and her brothers could be an easy target. For now, they're a couple of kilometers behind, as Usana and the cubs are on the move. The cubs are unaware of the trouble that's trailing them, and are hard at play. Usana is joining in today. This tussling helps strengthen her fighting skills. Handy for hunting, but also defense. It's good preparation for when her mother leaves them in just over a year. Then they'll hunt as a team until Usana is ready to go it alone. Another morning rolls in. Umzali has had a busy night. There's plenty of food for Usana and her brothers. But they're being watched. The jackals have caught up and make their move. Circling them on both sides, the pair work as a team. One distracts Umzali, while the other makes off with some fast food. But the jackals still aren't satisfied. Usana's survival instinct kicks in, and she squares off with the thief. It's her first real test. Umzali is watching every move. She attacks. The boys play it safe, but Usana backs her mother up. The jackals make their escape. But it's a big victory for Usana. She's proving to be as brave and as strong as her mother. She stood her ground and defended what was hers. Umzali has taught her well. Over the next few months, the training will intensify as she continues preparing Usana and her brothers to survive on their own. One year later, and it's the dry season here in Waterberg. As the sun beats down and the temperature rises, the herbivores are heading to the region's last watering holes. This female cheetah has been trailing a wildebeest herd for the past few weeks. But this isn't Umzali. This is little Usana. She's almost fully grown. Thanks to Supermom Umzali, Usana and all three of her brothers have defied the odds. But now, the time has come for Umzali to leave her cubs. This supermum is going to seek out another mate and start this story all over again. Usana watches her mother head off. It's left to her and her brothers to rise to the challenge. Not only to survive, but thrive on these grasslands, like their mother has taught them. In the last 18 months, Usana has undergone an incredible transformation. From a tiny baby, blind and helpless, to a powerful huntress willing to fight tooth and nail for every scrap of food. Life in the grasslands means growing up fast. And she'll have to keep her wits about her. But Usana is up to the challenge, thanks to the efforts of Umzali. Usana now has a fighting chance of raising cubs of her own and carrying on this iconic African species. She'll stay with her brothers for a short while, but before long, she'll be ready to take on these wilds alone. Every day brings a new test. When you're born wild. Meet Chico, the baby capuchin. For this youngster, growing up wild is one giant adventure. To survive Brazil's arid forests, he is learning the laws of the land, like what to eat and when to flee. Chico's clever family have entered the Stone Age. Mastering the tools of his trade will be his biggest test. Across the world, baby animals are taking their first steps and tackling their first challenges. They are the next hope for their kind. They are the new kids in the wild. It's the start of the dry season in Serra de Capivara, Brazil. Located in the northeast of the country, this arid forest stretches over 1,200 square kilometers. Thousands of years ago, some of our earliest ancestors left their mark on these ancient rocks. It's amongst the oldest artwork in the world. Today, it's home to a very different group of primates. Tufted capuchins. They're some of the smartest animals on Earth. These monkeys have mastered tools the same way our ancestors did millions of years ago. They use sticks and stones to access food other animals can't reach. This troop is made up of 16 adults and a few juveniles. And one brand new addition. He's just 3 weeks old. Meet little Chico. For just over a year, he'll rely on his mum's milk. He doesn't eat much solid food yet, but he's curious and nibbles on whatever he can find amongst the leaves. When he's weaned, he'll eat nuts, insects, and even reptiles. For now, it's the odd seed. Most baby capuchins stick to their mothers like glue. But Chico is bold. The adventurous monkey has entered the forest. He's looking for his older cousins. And when he does eventually find them, they're in full swing. It's more than just fun and games. It's also important strength and agility training. Chico is captivated. But he's too small to play. He needs to grow bigger and stronger before he can join in. That won't be easy for him. Chico's been born at a tough time of year. It's the start of the dry season, which in this part of the world means 8 months of virtually no rain. Food is hard to find for many of the animals that call this place home. They've all adapted ways of coping. Chico's family is no exception. They're true masters of survival. A tight-knit family with strong leadership is key. This is Carlito. He's Chico's father, the biggest and strongest of the troop. He's the alpha male. Carlito's the family's primary protector and leads the search for food. The females prefer to mate with him. He's an impressive male. But at 20 years old, he's ruled for a long time. And is increasingly vulnerable to a challenge from a younger, growing male. In this troop, that's Jacinto, an envious rival. He's had fights with Carlito before, and even lost some of his ear in one of their scraps. At 10 years old, he's almost as strong as the troop's leader. It's just a matter of time before he tries to take the top spot. Carlito keeps a watchful eye on the potential usurper. If he gets too close, the alpha won't hesitate to fight. But it's not just rivals he needs to watch out for. Serra de Capivara is home to some dangerous creatures. The capuchin's biggest threat here is the Jaguar. This lone hunter is eyeing the troop from afar. Adventurous Chico is exploring on his own. Unaware that the Jaguar has him in his sights. As the youngest, he's an easy target. But ever-alert Carlito spots the danger and calls the alarm. Chico's confused by the ruckus. But Mum rushes in to sweep him up. And the Jaguar moves on. Little Chico has learnt a valuable lesson. When a grown-up sounds the alarm, they mean business. Capuchins have unique alarm calls for different threats. Chico's just learned the alarm call for danger on the ground. But distinguishing between these calls when it counts, that's a critical survival skill that he'll need to perfect. Only half of all baby capuchins make it to adulthood. Today's lesson just improved Chico's odds. One month later, and the land is drying out. Curious Chico is now 8 weeks old. He's getting used to the daily routines of his extended family. And for the last month, he's been mixing more with the group. They spend a large part of the day grooming each other. Picking out lice, ticks, and twigs. But it's not just for cleanliness. It strengthens bonds within the troop and maintains family harmony. As the youngest, Chico is watching, learning, and waiting for his turn. But grooming is hungry work. During the dry months, cashew nuts are one of the troop's main sources of food. And Carlito knows just the spot to find them. The troop follows closely behind. There's just one problem. The nuts are encased in a hard shell. The capuchins aren't strong enough to prise them open. But Carlito knows exactly what to do. Chico watches as his dad looks for the right size stone. With a couple of well-positioned hits, the protein-rich nut is released. This technique helps the troop through the hardest times. As Carlito works, he has a captive younger audience. The alpha patiently shares with his youngest son. Giving Chico his first taste of the delicious nuts. The adventurous little capuchin decides to have a go. But he's going to have to wait a few months before he's capable of even lifting the stone. Until he masters the skill, there's always Dad. Chico and his family can't survive on cashew nuts alone. Carlito leads the troop in search of other nuts and plants. As they forage, they're blissfully unaware of the danger that lurks nearby. A yellow scorpion's sting could be lethal. Carlito spots the potential killer and swiftly adds it to today's menu. Just like us, capuchins are omnivores. Alongside plants, they eat insects, rodents, and even small birds. This time, little Chico sets off to find his own meal. Finding a tasty snack in the dry season isn't easy. He needs strong climbing skills to search in the highest branches. Using his hands, feet, and even his tail, he navigates the treetops. Adventurous Chico gets into the swing of things faster than most. With each successful jump, his confidence grows. But there are still things he has to learn about his home. In this extremely dry climate, hot air can rise quickly, with cooler air rushing in to fill the void, resulting in powerful winds that seem to appear out of nowhere. Little Chico's in trouble and scared. He cries out for his mum. But he's unknowingly strayed too far from the troop. His mother searches alone. She finally hears his call. Used to the winds, she heads for Chico. winds disappear as quickly as they came. Safely on the ground, Chico's mum hurries to catch up with the troop. She can hear them in the distance, and she follows. Always on the move, they can travel up to 3 kilometers in a day. They're not in the trees. The troop has headed to an ancient network of caves. It's a favourite hunting ground because it's a great place to find lizards. They're one of the monkey's favourite fast foods. That's if they can catch them. There are slower options in the cave. Granular toads. They're easier to catch. But they're not very appetizing. The caves aren't just a dining hall. They're also a fun playground for Chico's older cousins. Chico is still too small to play on the steep walls. Once again, he has to sit on the sidelines and watch. But before long, he'll be just as nimble. As darkness falls and the troop tires, they settle down to spend the night in the caves. It's now halfway through the dry season. It'll be around 4 months until the rains arrive. Food and water are getting harder to find. Some haven't made it. But with Carlito as leader, the Capuchin troop isn't just surviving, they're thriving. The family is actually growing. At 6 months old, Chico is no longer the youngest. His 2 baby cousins are just a few days old. With new mouths to feed, the troop needs to keep finding food. Chico gives them a quick glance, then heads to Mum. He still has her milk for now, but in less than a year, he must feed himself. So now's the time to learn. Adventurous Chico once again heads off on his own, in search of food. He's much more adept at climbing. And navigates the canopy with finesse. He knows where to find food for himself now. And where to get a drink. But he'd better get back to his family if he doesn't want to miss out on a special treat. Carlito has brought the troop to a collection of bee nests, each of them chock full of honey. These are stingless bees, so the monkeys won't be harmed. But to reach their delicious produce requires ingenuity. For the more difficult nests, a stick is the tool of choice. Carlito is a pro. The calorie-rich treat is a great energy boost. Chico observes Carlito closely. If he wants to enjoy the region's sweetest treat, he'll need to use his head as well as his hands to master this clever technique. Chico doesn't get a taste today. Carlito isn't in the sharing mood and takes all the honey for himself. The troop isn't alone in its hunt for food. Every animal in the forest is trying to get enough during the dry season. But few are as clever as the monkeys, who are always there to clean up what others miss. Unfortunate animals that don't find enough to eat may end up on someone else's menu. Dark wings glide over the valley. This large bird is on the hunt for meat. It cruises on hot air thermals, barely flapping its wings. It has excellent eyesight and can sniff out food from over 1.5 kilometers away. One of the troop spots the raptor in flight. And a new alarm call rings out. It means a threat from the sky. This time, Chico instinctively joins the others as they dash for cover. It's only a vulture. They're scavengers and don't eat live prey. The troop is safe. Better to have the occasional false alarm than let their guard down too early. And it's taught Chico another valuable warning call. As the sun rises over their valley, a strange sound echoes through the forest. But it's not a capuchin call. Chico's troop shares its territory with another monkey species. They're known for their distinctive call. It can be heard almost 5 kilometers in the distance. But today, it's coming from just a few hundred meters away. And it's getting closer. Howler monkeys usually move in groups, but this male is all alone. Troublesome leaders can be banished from their family. Just like capuchins. Howler monkeys are larger than capuchins, and the two species clash over food and territory. Chico's dad Carlito makes a show of strength, but the big intruder just ignores him. Carlito has to decide, fight or flight. He decides to play it safe and leads the troop in a tactical retreat, up the steep cliffs where they can move faster than their heavier rival. The lonesome intruder continues on his way, preoccupied with his search for food. The capuchins continue their ascent, They're just as comfortable on the steep cliffs as in the treetops. Which is important here in Brazil's Serra da Capivara. Cliff faces like this dominate the landscape. These ancient rock formations were forged millions of years ago. The great rivers and glaciers that carved them have long since dried up. The rocky maze that remains has become the capuchins' safe haven. And just as important, it's home to 17 species of lizard. All of them delicious. Inspired by the older monkeys, Chico decides to try and catch a meal of his own. He's getting better at maneuvering along the cliffs and quickly finds a potential snack. A tailless whip scorpion. It looks intimidating, but it doesn't have a venomous sting. Chico's grown confident in his climbing skills. But he's less sure when it comes to strange-looking bugs. He makes his second tactical retreat of the day. The dusty seeds on the forest floor may be dull, but at least they're not scary. The dry season lingers on. Today, Chico searches for his lunch under the scorching midday sun. But he's oblivious to a colourful warning in the rocks. Chico's older cousins move in for a closer look. It's hard to tell. Is this snake a serious danger or a potential meal? Get it wrong, and the curious capuchins could receive a deadly dose of venom. The cousins get closer. But Carlito sounds the familiar alarm for danger on the ground. The reptile has similar markings to the venomous Brazilian coral snake. But there's no risk. It's a harmless false coral snake. It evolved that colour pattern for a reason. The capuchins aren't taking any chances. So the snake makes it past unscathed. Today, the troop's biggest upset could come from closer to home. The close encounter with the snake has got the troop riled up. Amidst the chaos, someone sees an opportunity. Jacinto, the would-be usurper, approaches Carlito. Rearing up is seriously aggressive body language. It's a challenge. But Carlito won't back down without a fight. Jacinto bares his fangs to intimidate. Chico can only watch on. Carlito knows he has everything to lose and charges. Jacinto's bravado evaporates. If the alpha gets his hands on the rival, it'll be a bloody encounter. Jacinto escapes. But Carlito has put him back in his place, in front of the whole troop. It's a good lesson for Chico. Knowing when to mount a challenge will be key if he ever wants to be leader. It doesn't take long for everyone to get over the drama. Shifting group dynamics is all part of being a capuchin. With peace returned, the troop settles down for the night. The dry season pushes on. The troop's already up and scouring the forest for their breakfast, including little Chico. But food is becoming increasingly hard to find. Some of the older capuchins find the last few cashew nuts. Chico watches on. The little monkey has spent months trying to crack these nuts. He sets up to practice, looking for the perfect tool. The eyes of the troop are on him. He does it. Chico's learned the skill that sets his family apart and will enable him to thrive in this challenging environment. With this final barrier crossed, there's nothing standing in Chico's way on the road to adulthood. He's now a fully fledged member of one of the world's most sophisticated animal troops. In the last 8 months, Chico has been on a wild journey. He's had to learn fast. From a tiny baby clinging to his mother's back to a mountain climbing, tool using forager. Chico has already beaten the odds, making it to 8 months old. But now he faces the next chapter. In a year, his mother will have another baby. And Chico will have to become completely independent. His generation is the next hope for the future of his species. And with Chico among them, that future looks bright.